We always have rental shoes, rental rackets, and juice junctions, and everything. We have it at our campuses, right? So naturally, what happens? People who come and participate in events in us, they naturally say like, "Hey, our corporate tournament should happen at Sporfy," right? So that intentions that we create naturally to the people who come into our campus. Now there's also another set of people who are evolving either by having running. So there's a lot of runner community in Coimbatore that I'm able to see, and similarly, there's a lot of interest towards multi-sport right now. Like you name it, you have for every sport. There are some or the other people who are participating and playing now, and definitely Coimbatore has a lot of scope to improve. But then getting into some of the events and symposiums during college, so that started making me feel that I have to learn a lot before I start making a company for myself. So they came in and then they really saw the value what we are building and the ecosystem that we are developing. They really loved what we are doing together as a team, and we don't lifestyle operate like other campuses, right? We operate as a corporate. So there's a lot of fundamental difference in how we operate the entire campus and how we bring a lot of people, because a campus which was shut down in COVID is what we took over and we revived it, and it was almost like zero.
Hello everyone, welcome to Homebrew Studios. Today we have with us Mr. Muthaiah Thiagarajan, who is the founder and CEO of Sporfy Technologies Private Limited, based out of Coimbatore. Welcome, Muthaiah, sir.
Thanks, Vijay, for welcoming me to the show.
It's a pleasure having you here. The reason why you are here is because you have a unique proposition, when it comes to product building, that too from Coimbatore space. You've combined your enormous amount of experience in product building along with sports technology. So I found it very intriguing when I started learning about your career. So I thought, you know what, we'll have to get to know him better. And thank you so much for accepting the invitation and being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting.
So let's start up understanding more about how this happened, right? So you've been doing product development across the globe for the last 15 years, and then you've moved to this is your second
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah, second entrepreneurship. So what transpired that? What sparked this from moving to a working setup into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so actually my childhood dream was to start my own company and then give 100 people job. So that was my simple ambition with which I, when I was in around 16 to 18, right? So, and as soon as I completed college, I thought I should start my own company. But then getting into some of the events and symposiums during college, so that started making me feel that I have to learn a lot before I start making a company for myself. So that's where I thought like I should get into the right areas. So my skills has to be upskilled, right? So then I said like, let me make sure I have the right cushion of experience and also an amount of savings that could help me to run a successful entrepreneurship, right? So I don't want to make a company which is just for an interest of entrepreneurship, right? So I wanted to make a sustained company. That was always my ambition, that I touch 100 lives, then it should be really touched for a long term, right? So in that interest, I got into software industry. I'm a mechanical engineer, right? So got into softwares. So definitely my core interest was on programming. So I was a hardcore programmer for at least 10 to 12 years in my 16 years of journey. Post that I started to become a engineering manager and then got into a director and was heading an engineering division when I ended my career in different companies before I starting my own entrepreneurship. So yeah, so that's how it started. But definitely I was always passionate to do a lot of code, learn a lot of new tech stacks. Always I was more greedy to learn and improve myself, and that was helping me to grow in different companies. So I have a stint of around some 16 years in different companies, and every company I spent some 4 years. Companies like Philips, Dell EMC Square, and then it's called Dell EMC now. Before it was EMC Square, and then I was working with Microsoft for 4 years. And finally I thought like I have worked too many MNC, so I should get into some startup before I start my entrepreneurship. So it was a big decision that I took, a decision to quit Microsoft and get into a startup where there were only 10 employees, where I started myself with a company called MedLife. Now it is acquired by PharmEasy. So where I was heading at least around some 40 to 50 engineers in doctor business. So it's a medical e-pharmacy company where I was started as a manager and then got all the way till a director to head a business on engineering side, right? So that was my past experience. Moving from there, I got into entrepreneurship where I really wanted to do something on the sport that I really love about, right? So I was always a passionate cricketer. So from 98 to 2006, I was actively playing for divisional cricket in Coimbatore and represented zonals in Anna University. So these kind of areas, I was always a cricketer during my childhood. So from there, things started, and then I got into more on the corporate world, right? So then from there, I again came back. Then I thought like, why don't I do something in the area where I love to do, right, on entrepreneurship? So that's where I picked sport.
Okay, so this is multi-sport, and audience, I'm not kidding when he says, when he says that he's playing sports and he's passionate about cricket, he's not joking. I've seen him play, and he really is a good player. So now talking about sports-centric platform, that is what Sporfy is all about. So you started off with a specific feature set, and then now it is a full blown complete digital ecosystem. How did that transition come about? So why did you start with what you started, and how is it a digital platform? What triggered the change?
Actually, when we started, it was a different ecosystem that we were trying to build. And then through learning in the industry of sport, once we got in, we saw a lot of things have to be different from what we thought when we started the company. So this is my second entrepreneurship. Like I said, there was a first one where, again, it was in the same brand name Sporfy. So, but it was more on pure digital, where we started building a lot of scoring solutions and different areas that we were touching on the sport for different sports which were not touched by other competitors in the market. But once we start building, we started learning the adoption is not that impressive, being pure digital, and it is not something product what we build is something scalable, right? Or if it is, it has to be scalable. There should be a lot of burn to build such ecosystems, right? So those were some of the learnings in my first entrepreneurship of 5 years, where we build a lot of digital things only, right? And that is the primary thing that evolved us as a company to move towards the right direction right now as we bootstrapped ourselves and then operating. And definitely this particular genre sport is where we see like it is still not in the grassroots level. When you start evolving product ecosystems on sport, it is not still 100% VC fundable, because it is not in a area where it gives them that 4x or 5x or 10x of yield that they expect, right? So that is something that we learned in my first 5 year stint. And when we restarted, me being an independent founder and CEO operating Sporfy Technologies now, so we started learning what are the right things to do and what are the wrong things that we should omit at this stage. But whatever we built is not something wrong, I would say, but maybe not the right time, right? We should bring it at the right time after we build things, right? So that is what something we learned, and then we wanted to build an ecosystem around it, right? Previously, it was purely a digital ecosystem, but now we have made a mix, right? And we brought in more of like what we build, we consume more than requesting others to consume, where primarily we had booking and scoring solutions initially, right? So there we have to always insist on other facilities or campuses or teams or clubs in different sport to adopt. But fortunately or unfortunately, what we see is the adoption is not that impressive until and unless you give a lot of freebies, right? So, and even if it is adopted, it always needs a consistent evolving capabilities on features where everybody has different features, and you keep building that, but the adoption rate is not that impressive when it comes to different sport apart from cricket. So that is where we started seeing like this is not the area to tap in, rather we should utilize our skills in the right areas. So the ecosystem should be in a different order of start, so that we have started now with the new company.
Okay. So, in a way, is it a forced bootstrap approach that you have to take because of the lack of investments, from VCs in this sector? Because right now it's all VC dominated, and a lot of companies would want to go to the market. But then bootstrapping at this day and age, is it out of necessity, or is it something that you want to do?
No. So bootstrapped is primarily because we wanted to make a sustained company, not something on a funding dependent company, right? So we definitely wanted that to be very clear. We will definitely look at raising funds at the right time, but that is when need, right? Not as a must, because many companies these days start to make VC as a must, right? So we are not in that approach. We wanted to make a company which is self-sustainable, and the employees whom are working are capable to consistently operate and then scale, and then we are able to handle all our burns through our earn, right? So that is a primary intention where we made ourselves very sure that with the restart we wanted to make it a bootstrap company, and it's been 2 successful years now. We have definitely bootstrapped ourselves to sustain through revenues what we are doing as Sporfy Technologies Private Limited. And when it comes to VCs, definitely we see like there's a huge opportunity, because sport and fitness area are something, an area of always growing, evolving space that we see in the Indian market and also overall in the global market, right? So that way I see definitely the areas where we are operating now are VC fundable, and we have carefully coined our ecosystem in such a way that it is scalable without too much of an hard investment from the company end, right? So that is something, a model that we always planned from the restart when we did.
You mentioned about scaling. So I'd like to understand what your direction, for the future is, because I know that recently Sportfy has migrated from a COCO model to a franchise-owned model.
Yeah.
So why the specific shift, and what does it bring to Sportfy as a company?
Yeah, see, Sporfy as a company is primarily concentrating on two areas, right? So one is building a sport ecosystem with our own campuses or a franchisee owned campuses, and also we have retail units of sports stores. Either it's a pro store in our campus or a dedicated pro retail stores in the different parts of the town.
So that completes your ecosystem.
Yeah, so that, no, actually these are the infrastructures for the ecosystem. Well, the ecosystem is about the people who come and play over there, right? So the community, what we build over there. So that is a primary area where we focus to build an ecosystem. So we want a parent, a kid to come to our campus where a father has something to do, mother has something to do, and kid has something to do in our campuses. And if they have to do something, they need definitely gears. So if they have to get the gears, then they have to procure somewhere. What is the right gear to use for the units what we operate is what something we sell. And we also sell online, so that we are currently listed in Amazon. Very soon we are planning to list it on Flipkart also. We are brand dealers for 23 brands, and one particular brand in pickleball, we are a distributor pan India for Yola. So essentially we are very focusfully targeting our customers who come to our campuses. And when it comes to Coco Foco that you are talking about, yeah, definitely we started as a Coco, company owned, company operated campuses. So we have two campuses currently, and third one is under development right now. And every campus that we have invested, we made sure that we give a good experience to the people who come into our campus, right? Like I said, a parent or a kid should be having a very good experience coming into our campuses. That was our primary motto with which we started equipping ourselves, and what our softwares we build also are more aligned towards that. when we do this, we started to see like, okay, so we can do one, two, three, but we cannot keep doing with bootstrapping ourselves, doing a lot of units, right? So that is where we started to find a way that we have a very good software solutions that we have built to build this ecosystem of the community. So what are the other things that we can do to scale? So that is where we identified that there are a lot of people who have land and who are ready to invest, but they are into other businesses where they are not able to focus on sport. While our franchisee started from our customers who come to our Coco campus, right? So that's where we started our first franchisee. So they came in and then they really saw the value what we are building and the ecosystem that we are developing. They really loved what we are doing together as a team, and we don't lifestyle operate like other campuses, right? We operate as a corporate. So there is a lot of fundamental difference in how we operate the entire campus and how we bring a lot of people, because a campus which was shut down in COVID is what we took over and we revived it. And it was almost like zero, where nobody was playing over there, a campus of 2 acres, right? So we took over that. And then we brought in organically in a span of 1.5 years to a 7,000 people footfall into the campus monthly, and 1,800 unique footfalls into the campus. So those things started inspiring a lot of customers who came in, and they started saying like, I have a land, why don't you do something in our land, and I'm ready to invest. So that is where the idea initiated to make a FOCO model, right? So it evolved organically, not by force, but through the efforts what we are putting in, and people loved what we are doing it. And that's how we got our first franchisee. Now we have 3 franchisees signed up, and 2 are operating, and 1 is under infrastructure constructions. So every campus of us are more of like anything above 40 cents or 50 cents and above, every campus that we operate, and many are more of 1 acre to 2 acre kind of a campus, and all are multi-activity centers. So even though I love cricket, but I love all the sport to get evolved in India, because there's a lot of opportunity in India that sports are evolving, and people are very intentional now to play something to make sure they are fit. So that is the opportunity that I see that VCs will be interested in the future in this market. But it needs a proper ecosystem to be built, and definitely it should be bootstrapped and it should be sustainable. And you need to show good references that we are really doing good. So that exposure is required to go to the next level in this particular spectrum. Unlike other areas where you have a product and you have something AI centric, or you have something IoT centric. So there are a lot of opportunities where you are getting immediately funding with the idea that you kickstart being a digital platform, right? But here in sport, that is what is a primary learning that we had. It's a digital and a physical ecosystem together blend is where we are able to build revenues and profitabilities. And that's how I think we evolve, and we are evolving still, right? So it's a continuous process.
Okay. So if there are landowners watching this podcast, and if they are interested in becoming one of your, franchise,
Yeah.
what exactly is their prerequisites?
So it's very simple. So we have multiple models on franchisee models, right? So one is you have a land, you're ready to invest, we are ready to operate on a long-term contract, right? We take care of end-to-end
And they don't
marketing.
have to be an SME
Yeah.
in any sport.
Any sports, yeah, zero. So they just need to have a land and then start investing. Second model is you already have a land, you invested, you built a facility, now you're not able to operate, we are ready to take over. So that is also another model where we started investing now. Because there is a lot of campuses which are getting built and then they don't know how to operate, right? And there are multiple sports where it is becoming a saturation point of not getting major bookings into their spaces. So that's an opportunity that we see as a corporate, because um, definitely, like you said, they don't need to be an SME. They just need to have a good investment plan. But however, we don't ask them to straight away invest everything on their land. We organically grow along with them as we evolve in that particular area. So we research when they have a land. We just don't straight away go ahead and start building it. Rather, we ask them, what is your capacity of investments to get started? And we really wanted that to be a win-win model, right? Not about like a hard investment and then they are finding it results are not positive, right? So every area needs an organic evolvement, because the learning that we had is like it takes 5 years to build a brand in a locality, and at least 3 years to build a good vicinity, right? So that is very important, and that is where we are pretty good at. So we don't want to just make the investor, the franchisee owner, to crazily invest and then wait for returns. Rather, we organically ask them to invest and grow along with us. The second model, like I told, you have already a campus, we are ready to take ownership. Or the third option is like you don't have a land, somebody has a land, you take it on rent, and then you invest on top of it, and then we operate, right? So that is also a model. So we have flexibility on the FOCO models. But however, we predominantly get into larger campuses with people who have the land ownership and they invest on top of it, because that is where I see like it's a win-win for both the players, right? And definitely a land in a space where it's not still evolved, because Coimbatore as a city that we see, like there is a lot of place where still a lot of construction opportunities are there with a lot of houses to come over there. So you cannot straight away crazily burn. So it has to be organic, and that's how we are working with our franchisee owners now. Okay. So,
And are we geographically restricted? Can a landowner from Chennai approach you for a project?
Yes, definitely. So we are already in talks with couple of campuses in Chennai and Madurai. Yeah, because definitely we wanted to, our vision as a company is to at least scale towards 26 cities, right? At least in the next 5 to 8 years. So that is our plan. But definitely our immediate plans are the next 1 to 1.5 years. We wanted to definitely have a good footprint in Coimbatore, at least to have some 10 to 12 campuses. So definitely franchises in Coimbatore are highly concentrated to get started. But however, we will definitely have some campuses in the metro and tier 3 kind of cities, because we wanted to evolve and scale in different channels. So tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. And definitely currently we are targeting on Tamil Nadu. And Chennai is something that we are definitely looking at least one or two in the next 2 years, so that we also show a proof. If required, we wanted to raise funds, because currently we are not in need, right? So we are a bootstrap company and we are self-operating with our investments and earnings, what we are doing. But if we have to go towards that direction, definitely we focusing on tier 1 as a mandate is what I see as a founder, right?
Okay. It's not just about the franchise with Sporfy. There's a lot of partnerships as well.
Yeah.
I know that when I spoke to you earlier, you mentioned about a 200 plus partnership from multiple corporates, and they reach out to you for conducting events throughout the year. I've seen Sporfy Center always busy with one event or the other, and I see the listings continuously on multiple ticket applications. So I'd like to understand from you, how do you build that connection with these corporates, and what has been your selling point with them? Is it just the quality, or is there more to it? Why do they want to trust a brand like Sporfy when they come for events?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So the reason why we are different in this particular area when it comes to corporate or events, we consistently do events, right? So that is something different from other lifestyle businesses who operate sports campuses, where maybe in a year they could do one or two events to make sure they are announcing themselves that they are here, right? But what we do is like we build community. That is our intention, right? So we keep building different events in different variations, like leagues. We do consistent tournaments, and we do midweek mini events where we pull 15-20 people to participate. So that is where a lot of people who come into our ecosystem and then start being part of our community, they may be from some corporates or some from industries, right? So that's where we start to take a lead from them and then get into their corporates and then start talking to them and what really is needed. And we being a tech driven company, right, we have our own engineering team, around some 15-20 people at office, right, who keep building things. So that way what happens, like we build the ecosystem what is required to connect with corporates, and then our facilities are definitely very consumer friendly, right, in terms of experiences, restrooms and food experiences, what they want. We always have rental shoes, rental rackets and juice junctions and everything. We have it at our campuses, right? So naturally what happens, people who come and participate in events in us, they naturally say like, hey, our corporate tournament should happen at Sporfy, right? So that intentions that we create naturally to the people who come into our campus. So naturally what happened, organically we started evolving ourselves in connecting with corporates. In Coimbatore right now we have around 200 plus corporates where we have a direct connections, right? Where if we have a tournament, we'll be able to announce to them, we'll be able to communicate when we do a marathon. So throughout the year, we always have consecutive events. We do yearly swimming events, marathons, and pickleball tournaments and cricket tournaments. So like this, throughout the year, we have our own calendar where we keep doing events. But apart from that, at least in our campuses, we do at least 28 to 30 corporate tournaments for them, where they have internal events which we take ownership and then completely drive it for them. Either as a facility we give it to them, or we completely end to end do the events for them, or we work with a lot of third party companies where they want to run a marathon, where they need support, and we become an event coordinating company for them, especially into sport, because we are good in this area, right? So that's how we have built this ecosystem together.
Amazing. It's not just about the competition; it's about the experience for the corporates.
Exactly, you got it. Yeah, so that's right. And for that, we need definitely different teams. So we have definitely different teams for every sector, right? Event management, we have a different team in our office. We have marketing, we have a separate team. We have reels for that, we have a separate team, and we have business development, a separate team who work only with corporates and large events, right? And similarly we have engineering, product management. So there is a different set of team who handle different areas. So consistently we keep organically moving each areas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that also means you'll also provide them with the referees,
Exactly.
coaches, markers,
Yes.
marksmen, and all of that.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, that also brings me to another point. I know Sporfy is also famous for AI-centric video feedback through for coaches.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little about what really is this AI-centric.
So we don't want to build just a campus for the sake of doing revenue, right? So we really wanted to build a future sports person. Uh, it could be a cricketer, it could be a pickleball player, right? So who plays for India or who plays for state. We definitely are looking towards that in our campuses, because operating a campus means everything, right? We do slot booking, we do memberships, we do community based events, and we also have coaching programs. So coaching program is one of our significant area where we invest, and we wanted to do a lot of evolving ecosystem on sport, right? So that is something that we really look at. So when it comes to sport and coach, so a traditional coaching system cannot become a differentiator to make them learn and evolve to the next level. Maybe for a amateur level to get started on the grassroots, it is good, but next level, if they have to go representing district, representing round robins or state for different sport, then definitely we need to evolve with the market requirements, right? So definitely I see like technology is an important factor to improve our coaching programs, and we are building a lot of video centric, AI centric ecosystems for our coaches who can take videos and then start sharing feedbacks, do corrections to the kids, so that they really understand what exactly they have to do to learn and improve themselves. Because somebody want to represent, let's take in cricket, because I really play that sport, I can correlate somebody to play under 12 or under 14. So definitely they have to compete with the same level of kids coming from other academies. So what exactly we can bring difference to our academy and academy programs? We have academy program called Sporfy Pro Academy, where we teach kids on cricket, badminton, pickleball right now. So in this, when it comes to that, we wanted to give that extra edge of technology support. So our systems and our setups are definitely powered with a lot of latest technology, things like bowling machines and advanced video recordings, so that we really wanted to adopt and then give the kid that experience and learning that they learn from every match they play or every nets they attend in the classes. So that is where our video centric things are becoming a ecosystem, part of the ecosystem that we are building, right? So we really wanted to pass the feedbacks from the coach to the student, via their parent. So that is something that we are evolving, and our engineering team is aggressively working on it. Yeah.
So we like to understand about how Coimbatore really is resonating to all of these. The reason being, Coimbatore is right now progressing from tier 2 to somewhere being tier 1 in the next 5-10 years. Now with that, everything evolves. And how is sports evolving in Coimbatore?
So definitely there are a lot of sports people are adopting now in Coimbatore, right? So that we can see tennis, pickleball, badminton, definitely are some of the other games apart from cricket. Coimbatore is definitely a cricket crazy city where they play a lot of cricket over the weekends with corkball, cricket ball, and tennis ball, right? So, but other sports are definitely evolving a lot in Coimbatore, especially with athletics, football. So these areas and all are definitely, there's a lot of scope to improve. And what we see is like sports infrastructures like us or people who are building on lifestyle is crazily improving, right? So for an example, if I have to tell you, 1.5 years back we had hardly one pickleball court. Now we have around 120 pickleball courts which we are going towards, and at least 80 courts are right now available at around some 40-45 campuses.
And that's just Coimbatore.
That's just Coimbatore in a span of 1.5 years. So there is a lot of adoption of different sport right now, and like I said, people started to get into a mindset where definitely they wanted to play something to keep them fit. Apart from only going to fitness centers and yoga centers, now there's also another set of people who are evolving either by having running. So there's a lot of runner community in Coimbatore that I'm able to see, and similarly there is a lot of interest towards multi-sport right now. Like you name it, you have for every sport. There are some of the other people who are participating and playing now, and definitely Coimbatore has a lot of scope to improve in the next 5 years. Like you said rightly, that the city is going almost towards a tier 1 in terms of infrastructure investments and growing infrastructures on real estates. Definitely sports infrastructures are also getting better and better. With that, I definitely see the interest and adoption of sport is very essential to the Coimbatore crowd, because it gives a lot of value system, one. Second, deviations of kids to different directions is completely avoided by they participating in some or the other sport. And the third core thing that I see playing a sport is like you learn failures, right? So that is something very important. Me in my younger age, when I was playing for a club team, so I used to sit at least for 1 or 2 seasons only as a substitute, right? Taking water to the center. But definitely I have learned a lot through those, right? The waiting, patience, and once you start playing and you face failures as a team, so that is what sport gives you, right? And that definitely helped me in my career. And when I used to hire also, I used to see whether they are a team player. I have worked with a lot of IITians and different areas when I was working in different companies. So definitely we were always looking at these aspects. I think growing towards a tier 1 city, definitely this adoption is also highly mandate. I now see a lot of 30 plus are adopting sport these days, because they get BP, they get sugar, so naturally they start to feel like I have to do something. It's high time I have to pick some sport and start playing. So that's where I see a lot of people started to adopt sport like badminton, pickleball these days, because they just need 1 or 2 people to bring that motivation in them to go and play. And definitely pickleball is evolving in Coimbatore. I see like a lot of adoption in the last 1.5 years, especially with this sport in Coimbatore. So people started to see themselves getting more fit by playing this sport, right? So this ecosystem will start organically evolving into the schools now on multi new sport which are evolving. And I think that happens, then actually kids will also start getting into more on the sport. But right now there is a lot of sport activity which happens in Coimbatore. Yeah.
So, as someone who's been running sports infrastructure for close to a decade now, what would be your message to the students and the student community and the parent community watching this episode at Homebrew Studios? What would be your message on them taking up sports?
Definitely, taking up sport is very important because they will get the value system of how to lead themselves after they complete their schoolings and when they complete their college and then get into a grown adult where they have to take care of the next set of uh, uh, important things in their life, right? So that definitely needs confidence, right? So confidence you will get definitely by playing sport. You will be very open minded when it comes to the current culture and the Gen Z and the future beta and alpha gens, right? So definitely I see like this is definitely needed to keep your mind very calm and clear and composed. And sport is very essential. And if you adopt, you will definitely not lose anything, right? So you will definitely gain something out of a sport. Either you represent the country or you represent your state or district is one part. Everybody cannot do it. There will be only few who are the ones who could be part of it. But there are a lot of opportunity for the others to learn and grow and have a lot of memories. And sport is now like not just about 5 year 10 year. It's about like until they reach 60 and 70. There are runners who are 79 89 and all who are still actively running. So which means to keep you fit, to keep you learn from the values that you wanted to really pursue, definitely sport is very core for you, right? So I would say parent and kid definitely adopt some sport. Let it be an individual sport or a team sport. I would prefer team sport because you will learn more failures together and you will become a team player. But nevertheless, even being an individual sport, anyone you should definitely pick to grow yourself fit and to have a good composed mindset to take the future generation in the right path, right?
So it's been a pleasure talking to you. This podcast was so informative. This is a new area for a lot of people watching sports digital ecosystem. Thank you so much for gracefully putting that into words and making us understand where we are with sports as a generation and what's the future generation looking like. For people who are pursuing sports as their career. Truly inspired. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would also like to thank you, Vijay, for bringing me into this podcast. Definitely, there's a lot of good conversation we had, and I hope something what I have communicated is on my own experiences. So definitely, I had a very good experience with this podcast. Thank you so much for bringing me in.
Pleasure, sir. With this, we come to the end of this podcast episode. Until next time, this is Vijay signing off.